I absolutely love survival games. There's something about desperation and making the best with the bad situation that keeps me completely hooked on them. And if you're anything like me, there's a good chance you might like Neo Scavenger. Set in the same universe as Astronauts, Neo Scavenger is a relatively small game that doesn't boast much in terms of graphics, but it scratches a survival itch no other game has in my opinion. And that itch is one of pure desperation and struggle. The setting is simple. You find yourself in post-apocalypse Michigan. The world has collapsed, people rob each other for the smallest thing, and better yet, mysterious cryptids wander the ruins looking for their next target. Survival for your character will be rough, and you will be struggling every step of the way. Do you want shoes? Well, you better get lucky killing some man for his sandals or getting lucky looting, because the next best option is wearing plastic bags on your feet and head, looking like the most scuffed homeless person in history. Do you have any wilderness training? If not, good luck starting a campfire as your character slowly dies from exposure, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. What I'm trying to say is that Neo Scavenger is fun, and today I wanted to see if I can survive a full week playing this game. Alongside that, I'll be using the extended mod, adding in some new threats and items. Anyways, wish me luck on this journey as I try to survive my very best. You wake up disoriented, slumped over the base of an empty cryosleep pod, still damp from cryo fluid. The thick dust from the floor clings to your skin, leaving a clean spot on the ground, where a large O5 is painted. Across the room, there's an open door to the hallway and a broken window leading outside. Just as you gather your wits, an unearthly scream erupts from the hall from beyond the doorway. Something is coming, fast. And what better way to start off the game than giving us two immediate options and an immediate threat? We can either jump out the window or dive through the window. Quite a bit of variety, but there is a safer option, which we will take right now. You sprint to the window and dive through, avoiding broken glass and even clearing an overgrown hedge on the other side. Rolling to break the fall, you start sprinting away from the building, no looking back, just running to put distance between you and whatever that thing was. You're not even sure it had a chance to see you, you moved so fast. After a while though, you start to notice the chill in the air, the discomfort of running barefoot, and the frustration at being unable to remember much of anything. Who you are, why you were in cryosleep, where you are, you're gonna need some answers. The distant report of a gun disrupts your thoughts. You cock your head, listening, but it's over as quickly as it started. Obviously, you're not alone out here, though that doesn't necessarily comfort you. Taking a look around you, you decide to start searching for some answers, not to mention supplies. And so here we are, everyone, lost in the middle of God knows where, right next to a cryo facility which has something very terrifying inside. The only items we have to our name right now is a medical bracelet, which gives our name, a Medicare gown, which reveals our butt probably, and a single bronze talisman on a braided leather string. You don't want to know what happens when you take this necklace off, so we're gonna keep it on. Anyways everyone, welcome to Neo Scavenger, and if you take one glance at the game, you can tell that graphics aren't really the priority. Instead, this game seeks to provide very fun gameplay and some of the best survival experiences I've ever had playing a video game, which makes me extremely excited to play this game. And hopefully, we will survive for a week, though in this game anything can happen, and there's a good chance as soon as we move a tile we get ambushed by a pack of dogs, or even just stabbed by a local homeless man who wanted my gown. It's really up to the world at this point. But we're not completely defenseless, as we do have some traits which will help out our experience. As we're tough, we know trapping skills, we're athletic, and we know how to shoot weapons. All four of these traits are going to be really helpful for my survival. As you saw, we were able to dive outside of the window and use our athletic ability for that reason. Another thing that athletics does is it allows us to travel overworld maps quicker, thus resulting in a bit better of a starting chance, and I think we're exactly going to do that. If we die right now, there's not really much else to lose. We move up north through the forest, and if we look in the distance, we see piles of rubble from what was a city. Even though we won't find too much from there, it is the best chance we have. But before I go ahead and go there, we are in a forest tile, which means there could be some supplies on the ground. So we're going to open up our item screen, and we have a few items. We have a squirrel corpse and 2 stones. There's also the local trees which we can use to gather resources. I don't really want to worry too much about that though, so I'll just take the stones, equip them in our hand, and take the random squirrel corpse with us. Ending our turn and moving into the city. Oh, perfect. We already have an event to make my life a living hell. I mean, at least we have a stone we can throw at them, potentially. Let's see what's going on. They've cornered you. Some lucky gangers managed to back you into a dead-end alley. They're closing in, smelling blood in the water. The future's looking pretty grim. But then somebody shows up, and he's packing. The gangers hesitate. As a stranger holds him up, you duck into the door he appeared from. Then, just as suddenly, the situation shifts. The gangers are no longer scared. Why? They split up and move in fast. You watch the stranger cock the weapon and aim, but the nearest ganger just keeps coming, unperturbed. Maybe they're calling his bluff. This is insane, by the way, but this is how the game usually goes. So we have a few options. We could help the man, leave the door open behind me. He might make it. Miracles can happen. We could yell out our thanks, then slam the door. Or we could jam the door shut behind you and disappear. There is a part of me that just wants to jam the door shut, but I'm kind of curious about helping the man. We have literally nothing to lose. Maybe I could bludgeon someone with our squirrel. And as a result, our right leg was pelted. Before you can reach him, the stranger disappears under a swarm of nihilistic gangers. It's glaringly obvious he isn't going to get up. Spinning around, you dash for the door. A lucky thrown crowbar catches you before you can clear it, though. Staggering, you slam the door shut behind. With blood obscuring your vision, you thread your way through the apartment to the exit on the far side. All the while, you try and think of a reason why a complete stranger would put his life on the line to save you. Damn, that was noble. Maybe one day you can pay the favor forward. And so we survive. Finally, approaching the ruined town. As you approach the town, there's no sign of activity. Buildings stand in ruins. Vehicles are overturned and blackened with fire. Explosion marks radiate outward from walls and pavement. In the distance, strange-looking creatures circle in the sky, like monstrous, leathery vultures. The world has drastically changed from what you knew. Some sort of cataclysm has befallen Earth, returning mankind to the Dark Ages. And along with it, your hopes of finding a warm meal and some answers. You decide to look around and scavenge what you can from the ruins. And if we open up our medical tab, you can see that our right leg is bruised. Thankfully, it's not an open wound, so we don't have the chance of catching sepsis or having the wound go infected. Which is really, really fortunate for us. If I would have gotten a bad wound, I would have killed my character off immediately and restarted. This game is that brutal. Now, I am a little bit worried about the gangsters, but I don't really see them around the area, so I'm hoping it's just tied to the event. By the way, there are events in the game that just completely insta-kill you if you pick the wrong option. I was a little bit more reckless because we just started the game. If we look up to the north, there is also a dog. A dog that will probably try and maul me, so before that happens, we will grab a very basic weapon. In the form of a wooden plank. It's all we have right now. There are a few more items on the ground, like rags, string, a road map, which would be helpful later. If we had some extra time, we would be able to grab some of these components and make some items, but we don't have any moves left, so we just have to wait and end the turn. Okay, awesome. It looks like the dog left me alone, everyone. Instead, all we have to deal with is moderate hypothermia and foot injuries. We're not even 5 minutes into the game. We've been pelted by a crowbar, and now we're freezing to death in the middle of ruins. Oh god, I love this game. Anyways, if we're gonna survive, we are gonna have to scavenge some of these buildings, and potentially make a fire. We could head back to the forest, but that's going to be wasting all of our moves, and I think it's much more valid if we search some of the buildings nearby, a few of the cars, for maybe some shelter and some clothing items. Most of these buildings are destroyed, so we won't have too good of a chance, but that won't stop me from looting these locations. We have an office building with a few items. Okay, that's really good. None of it's gonna save my life, but that right there is the Hayapoopy children's backpacks. An actual saving grace for a crackhead like me. And with this newfound bag, we're going to be grabbing a few supplies, namely the stones for a very important reason, the dead squirrel, some rags, the glass shard, string, the twigs and bark, the tarps, and the road map. That's about everything we'll be able to carry right now. And before I go any further, I am going to be opening up the crafting menu. And I'd say the crafting system in this game is second to Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, which is some very big praise. The reason why I am in here right now is because I want to grab some of this string here, and these dirty rags, combining it with our range skill to make a sling. That way, if anything wants to maim or murder us, we don't have to try and, bludgeon it over the head with a 2x4. We still will, but before it can close the distance, we can throw a couple of rocks at a very, very large power. And now that we do have it crafted up, all we have to do is equip it and drop in a couple of stones. Now you see why I need all of these. They're gonna be my ammo source. Which is great and all, but we are still freezing to death. So in order to not freeze to death, we are going to head back over towards the forest tile, and we're going to be starting ourselves a quick fire. Of course, in order to do that, we need wood. And we'll be doing that by searching through these stretches of forest. Oh, wait a minute, never mind. We don't have to do that in order to get firewood, we just need to use the trees. And then we can gather branches and small twigs. Now that we have this, we can start a friction fire by combining the sticks and our trapping skill. And that right there, everyone, is going to save us. Starting a tiny lit campfire. If I want to make it even larger, we just combine it with more firewood to make a lit campfire. This is going to be warming us up very nicely, but it will also reveal our location a lot easier to some, ne'er-do-wells. But I don't really care about that right now, as there's a much more pressing problem. It should warm us up over time, and we also have a few more moves to use right now. And what better time to butcher up this squirrel corpse? Obviously, we're going to need a shiv first, so we can combine the glass shard with some of these dirty rags to make a nice glass shiv. It won't do much in melee combat, but it is better than nothing, and now we can combine it with the squirrel to make some meat. Throwing it right back on the campfire to roast it up. Boom, we got ourselves lunch. And now what I want to do is craft up some torches. If you've played The Long Dark, you know exactly why I'm making these. It's because we can use this to transfer the fire over towards the city. So now we just have to figure out a way to lug all of this firewood back with us. And I think we'll do that by dropping the dirty rags and string, because we can find that pretty easily. Okay, that looks pretty good for now. We have a torch in our one hand, our sling in the other, our food and some basic supplies in the bag. Now my plan is to light the torch and head back to the city. That way we're not sleeping inside the trees like an actual animal. Okay, it's time to head back, everyone. Boom, we're back here. We can go ahead and end the turn, giving me severe hypothermia. But we also do have another event. Up ahead, there seems to be some sort of abandoned car. It's covered in filth, and what glass remains is almost opaque with grime, so it's been here a while. Hard to tell if anything's inside from here. The door on this side is open, though, and it looks like a tattered sleeping bag spills through the opening. We can either throw something at the car, leave the car, or take the sleeping bag. Right now, that sleeping bag would actually save our life, and we wouldn't die of hypothermia if we go to sleep with that on. We're gonna try and take it. Hell yeah, dude! We're so back! This is like the only game where you get that excited over a sleeping bag. It's filthy, and you shudder to think of all the things that might have lived in here over the years, but it's warmth, and not freezing to death beats hygiene any day. Now, there is one problem, and that's actually carrying it around. The way I'm going to be circumventing that is by carrying it in my hand and leaving the sling inside my bag like that. Bada boom. We can carry it with us, or better yet, set it up at a burned-out apartment right down here. I think we're going to be sleeping inside here for the night. It's not the best, but it is better than the other locations. So I guess we'll set up our nice little base right in here. Dropping down the sleeping bag, giving me extra sleep factor. We're not too alert, and the shelter's not that good or protective, but it sure as hell is better than sleeping out in the middle of the woods. Now, let's go craft up a campfire, combining the torch and the branches. Now that we have that going, I feel a lot better about looting around the area, even if we do get a little bit colder. So let's see if we can scavenge some better supplies. Please be shoes, please be shoes, please be shoes. My feet hurt so bad right now. We will start off with the cars. Finding a few more supplies, which just seems to be trash, a ball bearing, some disposable plastic shopping bags. That is some nice stuff right there. We can use those for storage, but more importantly, we can use those for more clothing options. I'll showcase that later. Let's continue scavenging. Finding nothing inside of the car, with the same being for the third one. Now that we're out of moves, we can go ahead, go into the camp screen, and rest and heal. Ending the turn has warmed us up quite a bit more. Now we only have moderate hypothermia. I'm going to continue scavenging until it becomes nighttime out. Finding more trash. then moving on to the crumbling apartment buildings. That was not as much items as I was hoping, everyone, but we did scavenge the entire block. We have 2 fire extinguishers, a whole bunch of plastic shopping bags, duct tape, some cigarettes, and other spare parts. It's not much, but we can work with it. First things first, we're gonna grab these plastic shopping bags here, and we are gonna craft up some real nice gear. And if you can't tell I'm being sarcastic, this is gonna be the most desperate outfit ever. But it is better than being naked. Anyways, for the low price of 1 bag, we can craft up some wearable, disposable plastic bags. I will be making 5 of those. And now that we do have them, we can wear them on our head, our hands, and most importantly, our feet. Oh, it's real rough out here today. But it will keep us a little bit more protected from the elements. One thing we can do to make it a little bit better is that we can go ahead and use these dirty rags to make 1 foot rag, so we're not completely plastic bag man, but a good chunk of us is. Now that we do have everything, I'm going to restoke the medium campfire, and I think we'll try and head over towards the hill before the end of the night to see if there's anything else around the area. There isn't. What if I move over 1 more? It's all open land. That is not good at all. We're gonna head back home. Now begs the real question, do we want to stay here for the rest of the night, or do we want to try and travel elsewhere? I'm looking around right now, it's not looking that good. I am gonna try and move. Just what the hell is that? Oh, you've gotta be kidding me. That right there, everyone, is 2 dogs. One of them is frail, they're both frail. We should have never stepped outside our humble little abode. Now we have 2 dogs trying to kill us. Even worse yet, they're pretty close by. We could try and sprint away, but if we trip over and fall, we're dead. But at the same time, these dogs will kill us anyway. We're gonna try and sprint away. It looks like we made the correct call because the dog leader is currently charging at us. We are getting some good distance though, so we'll just continue to run away. We have about 10 or 11 tiles. They're still advancing towards me. We could try and pelt one of them with a stone to maybe stun them. And with our current skill, I think we'll do that. Yeah. We'll hit the one that's coming in closer to see if we can stun it. Hell yes, dude. We did exactly what I set out to. The other dog leader is still quite a ways away, so I might try and sling them next, but we crush its lower left arm with a slung stone. So now it's vulnerable and stunned. Let's try and do the same with the other one here. Okay, we missed. That's not too good. We're gonna run just a tiny bit further away, and I'm gonna try to reload my sling. We can do that by popping open our inventory and dragging the stones right inside there. Falling back while that's going on. They are closing the distance very quickly. We need to run. Now you see why I picked Athletic, everyone. This is the entirety of my character build. We're so fast that we can outrun most melee enemies, and we can just pelt them with rocks or hopefully bullets in the future. I'm gonna try and hit the other feral dog again. Smacking the feral dog's lower chest with a slung stone. It's now coughing up blood and stunned. That's really good. The other one is still going to be a little bit dangerous, so let's try and smack it too. Yeah, dude. That ranged skill is so nice. We were able to stun it too. Now, it's not going to be as hurt as the other dog, but it's still going to buy us enough time to go ahead, fall back, and reload our sling. Come on, Philip, get some distance from it. Okay, beautiful. I'm pretty sure we're getting a lot of distance because of how hurt they are. Let's try and smack it again. Immediately crushing its upper left arm with a slung stone. Yeah. Imagine evolving for millions of years just to be outdone by an ape who can throw a rock really good. Especially with the sling, which makes our throws even more dangerous. Let's try and hit the feral dog leader. Immediately crippling its left arm. My gosh, that is exactly why we pick stones for this sling instead of pebbles, by the way. Because you can use pebbles, but they hit a lot less hard. And seeing how the both of these dogs are just about dead, I think we're gonna go approach one and we're just gonna kick it to death. Or better yet, finish it off with pebbles so we don't even have to go close to it and risk a bite. Smashing its head in with the pebble, giving it a concussion. The other dog ran off, so it's just the leader. I think we can approach it and kill it now. It's not going to get back up. So let me just go ahead and kick you in the head real quick, little guy. Smashing it in the lower chest with the punch, finally killing it. The other dogs have been running away. Get dunked on. Hopefully this teaches them a lesson. Anyways, now that we have killed this dog, we can go ahead and butcher it up for meat. So let's grab you really quick and drag it off towards our little hovel. It does look like the dogs are still angry at me, so we are going to be hiding our tracks, and then we can finally go and butcher this. Because we're good at trapping, we should be able to get a lot of good resources from this dog. Of course, in order to do that, we need to make a shiv. Bada boom, now we combine that with the dead dog corpse and our trapping skill to butcher that bad boy up. Okay, awesome, dude. If only we had an actual fire right now. We're gonna have to make another. Eating the medium chunk right now. I'm pretty sure it gives us a little bit of thirst as well, so we'll see very soon. Yes, it does. That has completely sated our hunger and made us a little bit thirsty. We did use up all of our turns because we're freezing and we have a foot injury. Oh, we lost one of our shoes. Well, I know exactly how we're gonna be able to fix that. Bada boom, we got it. Never underestimate the bag shoes. Let's go craft up the rest of the meat while we have the time. Giving me 4 morsels of freshly cooked meat. Let's see if we can fit it inside our bag now. Or at least 2 more of them. I can eat the other right now. It's the small things you really have to be happy about, and if we look at the overall main map, it's getting pretty dark, so I think we're going to stay here for the rest of the night, and tomorrow we can either head south or west. Either or, we are going to have to leave this area. Before we do go, though, I will craft up one more thing with our dirty rags, and that's going to be some hand rags. Just one, though, because that's all we can afford right now. Yeah, overall, I would say things are going pretty decently. I mean, we've killed 1 dog, we've gotten food, we've not died just yet. What I'm trying to say is that things could be going a whole lot worse for my naked plastic bag man, and I think this will be a good spot to end the episode. Hopefully, you guys have liked this little foray into this very fun and complex game. I don't know if we're going to survive our full week, but at the very least, we can see if I can survive this day. Let's get some sleep. As night falls, you notice there's a bright glow coming from the east, easily visible through the tree tops. It's no guarantee, but it could be a sign of civilization, maybe even a lead of where you are or who. And if nothing else, it's as good a landmark to strike towards as any. That will be for another time. We're still asleep, and we wake up in the middle of the night. We're comfortable, unburdened, and not dying, so I'll count it as a massive win. I have no idea how much longer it's going to be nighttime for, but hey, we can just rest here until it becomes day. Okay, I will see you guys later. Make sure you like, favorite, share, and subscribe, especially on this video, so I know you guys actually enjoy this game. I will see you guys later. Peace out, everyone.